Hi, happy Tuesday. I'm just going to have a quick chat while I've got the chance and just talk myself through some of the energies that I've been aware of over the last few days. And yesterday was 11/11, wasn't it? The 11/11 portal. And so I woke up expecting to feel some certain way, these expectations again. And I felt thoroughly uninspired. I'd got a little bit of time yesterday morning and I thought I wanted to do a video, and ordinarily there's a backlog of things that I want to talk about, that I need to sort of talk about, but it had all just dissipated, and I've been aware of this for a while now, sort of acknowledging that the external knowledge can no longer inspire. It can only do a certain thing, it can only take you to a certain place, and then you have to flip it inside and find the truth within. So my journey of extraction began when I awakened and I started searching for all this. I say thirsty for the truth, for knowledge, And especially this year, I've noticed the ramping up of the shedding of irrelevancies. My desire for this is no longer there. So I got to this point yesterday where I was just like unable to draw any inspiration up. It was a complete block. It was a creative block. And I ended up doing a video about not knowing what to do a video about, not knowing what to speak about. And I didn't post it, but listening back to it, I managed to help myself work my way through it by noticing certain things. And yeah, I was kind of internally projecting judgment on the external, where you have those thoughts where it's like everyone and everything is just so uninspiring. It's just this echo chamber of regurgitated thoughts and perceptions. And what's always triggered me in the past, and which has like inspired me to talk, has been things that I've not agreed with necessarily, and things that you want to put your own slant on. But as I'm extracting myself from this sort of game, the need is not there, and I just see it all so simply, and that all of the external is nothing but a distraction and a wild goose chase. Like, these realizations are nothing new. They come in waves and they really hit you hard sometimes, and they help you peel back another few veils of your own bullshittery. But yeah, so my last one has been YouTube and attempting to extract myself from the need to sort of check my own opinions against anybody else's. I really don't feel the need to do that anymore. I ponder within, and I still ponder, multiverse theory, simulation theories, all the stuff about rhesus negatives, the construct of the universe, the fabric of reality, consciousness, the shape of the earth, all this type of stuff. But I'm not incessant anymore. I don't search it out. I don't need to. I kind of sort of check within, because it's all about how you're feeling in the present moment, and all this external, all it ever is just a reflection for us to learn and grow from. So I really sort of, once I'd got through my own density of yesterday, feeling so uninspired and blaming the external echo chamber, I realised that what has been my pattern has been to create and to produce from my energy centre, but only in bits and bats. I've not permissioned myself the self-worth, the worthiness to continuously do that. So what happens, how it feels to me, is like it's a participation in this relentless cycle of energy of external, internal, external, internal, and we're sort of bouncing off that to sort of keep going. And I realised yesterday that once you've extracted so much, you're only reliant upon yourself then. You don't rely on anything outside of self to make you feel good. And so I realised, obviously, quite quickly, that I was boring myself. I was blocking myself from my own inspiration and my own creative flow and juices. And it sounds way more grandiose than it is. For me personally, I just realised yesterday that what makes me feel good in the moment better than anything else is singing, and I really enjoy drumming, and so I've got to start doing these things and not just thinking about it, you know, set up a little band and actually do it, participate instead of just dreaming about it or doing it in my bedroom. So these small things are ways to sort of like create from the centre, which just make you feel good. It's funny, this sort of the tricks that parts of the ego play on us through these transformations. But anyway, yeah, so yesterday, huge few realizations that I was blocking myself and I was participating in the game by the regurgitation, and it was all just, you know, me blocking myself. So I've addressed a few things, but I feel like what is happening to me is that I'm having this extraction process, and I feel like that's much more what awakening feels like to me, as opposed to transforming into a beautiful light being. We're extracting the densities until we reveal that we were the light being all along, you know, our true selves, our authentic selves. That's what we find when we remove all the veils and the bullshit. And it's not scary, and you've known all along because it is you. So yeah, it's also simple and so beautiful. And so the more that these feelings and these ponders are solidified inside, the more irrelevant the external becomes. It's still useful for creative inspiration and for me to continue to sort of shed through what I'm not, I guess, you know. And yeah, it's just continuous realizations that we hold the key to our own prison cell, and, you know, what are we doing? So, and it's all just self-worth and permissioning ourselves to be that sovereign being that we are. So yeah, I am completely, hopefully, on the right track of extraction, and I'm extracting myself into wholeness and understanding the projection of the external, and, you know, just sort of leaving it at that. I no longer get you know, turned on or excited by certain chats or thoughts that I used to, and I don't feel the need for anyone to know my thoughts on things either, you know. I have never professed to know anything. I think you're a twat the moment you say you know something, you know, that nobody could know. And a lot of these concepts, they have been around eternally, and, you know, who are we to think that we're going to solve anything? Like, we just have to surrender and lose the densities and experience pure states. Or that's how I feel anyway. So yeah, I've been sort of pondering that, and something that was on my mind this morning as well and yesterday was, you know, trying to understand how things can get manipulated sometimes. And I feel like I've always sort of had a semi-awareness of how we are right in the precipice of the change at the moment, and we're creating the timelines and the narratives. We are the system, we are it all. And I don't feel like some people are aware of that, or they have the responsibility of that when they're speaking into channels, or they're trying to, you know, influence people, or maybe they just have no foresight and, you know, so they just say what they want. But the fact that any old Tom, Dick and Harry can go on YouTube and start professing to know truths, and, you know, all sorts of things are formed because of that. So I was thinking about how things are manipulated in timelines, and for me, what I find quite interesting, because I would consider myself a sky watcher, because I watch the sky, and it's not because I'm watching for signs of Nibiru or anything like that. It's because it's beautiful, and it just captures my attention and imagination. I love staring at the sun. But obviously I do my sky shit as well, so I see things through a camera lens as well, but I also use my eyes to look at things. So I notice that when I look at the sun with one eye, it looks one way. When I look at the sun with another eye, it looks another way. And when I look at them both together, it looks a different way. in terms of position, how a shadow can appear on it or a different sort of colour can appear around the back. All the rainbow spectrums I can see with my naked eye, and I know some people find it so bright and shiny that they can't even look up there to see those colours, so you would only ever see it through the camera. But what I've noticed is that a lot of sky phenomena, you know, whether it be like UFO phenomena or whether it be you know, anything, it doesn't matter. When you've got a photo of that, a snapshot of that moment in time, it can be misleading and it can be manipulated to look like something that it's not. I hope I'm explaining myself. Yeah, I was just thinking about how we all perceive sky phenomena at the moment. In 50 years or so, it won't be phenomena anymore because we'll have had these beautiful clouds and these sundogs and these rainbow bits. You know, for 50 years, that will be the norm and no longer a phenomena, because certain people now are aware of the differences from their, you know, from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, to now. We're aware of it during that moment in time. I'm not explaining myself very well. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. So yeah, basically, whenever I participate in the external search, all I see is things which I don't want to be affiliated or associated with, and so I just flip back round and go inside. I'm finding that life is becoming much less of a stress and a burden, and I'm going to attach MJ from All to Love's video in the description box. It was a beautiful piece this morning, and the tarot card reading was amazing, and I especially resonated with her interpretation of how the collective is rising out of the rebellion energy, and that kind of feels like one of my thicker hurdles. I've been weighted in chips my whole life, and sometimes I'm glad that they were there, and it served me well, you know, certain rebellion or cynicism or need to be a renegade or to just do what I want to do, you know, not conform, non-conformity. But with that is resistance and a certain aggression and, you know, a detrimental energy of its own. And so I'm slowly removing myself from that, and yeah, it feels like I'm pulling myself out of the game, up and away, and it's a very beautiful place to be. MJ related it to feeling like a ghost, but a nice ghost, and I completely feel that. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. So it's a full moon in Taurus tonight, and I guess for me, I'm just going to continue to acknowledge any of these blocks and patterns of my own thought forms which occur, and, you know, just try and gracefully and peacefully surrender to it, and continue with the extraction process, you know. Hopefully I'm on the way to wholeness and worthiness to fully express who I am. Right, I'm going. Adios. Goodbye.